So LeBron James is down and he is out for at least 2 to 3 weeks based on the recent Shams report. Could be longer. The original reports were that he could miss several weeks, but 2 to 3 kind of fits that timeline. So we will see how it goes. Now, the Lakers do have a ton of talent, a ton of depth, and I do believe will be able to weather the storm. Now, they do take on the Memphis Grizzlies. This is going to be a tough matchup. Memphis, they are at home. They likely want revenge from the last time we played them, but I do think we have a real opportunity here. I'm not going to write it off as like, yeah, we're going to get a W. We definitely have our work ahead of us, especially if D'Angelo Russell is out, which he likely is. But I do think we still have a real opportunity to get this done here. Schroeder, we've seen step up and play big. He did a really good job on Kyrie Irving. I could see him kind of holding his own a bit with Ja Morant. Again, you're never going to stop those guys, but can you slow them down? Can you make things difficult? Anthony Davis, we're going to need to see another monster game from AD. We need to get him established early. This is a game in which he should be able to just overcome and really kind of control this game on the defensive end as well as getting points. I'm not saying he needs to go get 40 or anything like that. That would be nice. But again, throughout the scope of the offense, right? I don't really care how much he scores. Just be dominant, right? If we're hot and guys are cooking and Beasley's shooting the lights out and Schroeder's killing them and, Vanderbilt's killing them and, Austin Reed and everybody's just showing up, and it's like that Warriors game, right? If it's like that, then fine. Just dominate the paint, dominate the glass, go get your, 15 to 20, and let's go win this game. But if it does come down to it to where, hey, we need to establish early on, we need to get, guys aren't hitting shots, it's looking rough. If it's closer to the Dallas game, then we're going to really have to have Anthony Davis. That's a game in which he's probably going to have to give us 40. But we have seen guys step up in the absence of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We have won games this year without LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The previous team, right, we beat Memphis already without LeBron James, right? LeBron James didn't play that game. So Schroeder, we've seen him play big games when guys are missing. We've seen him have big moments without LeBron, without Davis. So I do expect him to come in, ball out, show out. Rui Hachimura, he's somebody that I've talked about, made a video about that. I really think that this is a real opportunity for him to shine, a real opportunity to him to step in. I imagine he's the one that likely starts. I think it depends on how Memphis goes with their lineups. If they go big with, say, like Steven Adams and Triple J, then I could see them going like Vanderbilt at the 4 to guard Triple J, and then maybe like Troy Brown at the 3. Though you could play Rui at the 3. I think it just depends on who the 3 guard is. If it's somebody quicker, then you're probably going to put Troy Brown there. I just think it depends on the matchups. But if they go with that matchup with Triple J at the 5, well, then I do think it would make a lot of sense to start Rui at the 4 and then have Vando play the 3 and kind of control the paint and just kind of be the Swiss Army knife that Vanderbilt is. Just kind of read passing lanes, read the offense, and just make impact plays. And then you have Rui, and you kind of go the sized way, kind of go a little big on them. So, again, it's going to depend on how Memphis decides to run their starting unit, where last time they didn't really play a ton of Steven Adams, and we were making them pay, so I could see them maybe going to Steven Adams a little more just for the rebounding department, in which case, again, that's why I think you go Vanderbilt, Troy Brown. He's been a solid rebounder this year for us. But regardless, however we match up, whoever is starting, however we are deciding to play this, guys are going to have to step up. And the big thing is we acquired all this depth, all this talent, all these pieces. And these were moves for now and post LeBron James, right? That was the whole point, was that it's not, yes, this team gives us a real chance right now, but it's also for, hey, we only have LeBron James for very likely 2 more seasons after this season. We need to start preparing and getting pieces and players to build for the future. That's why we got all these young guys, D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Mo Bamba, Jared Vanderbilt. All of these guys are still very young, that are very likely going to be Lakers for the foreseeable future. So we're going to get a real opportunity to see what does this team look like post LeBron, right? Now, granted, there are other variables and factors that go into it. One, after LeBron, do we get another star? That could be a possibility. We are LA. We are the LA market. And especially if with the look of this team, the makeup of this team, I could see other stars going, I could win there. Anthony Davis, me, and then all these role guys, we could definitely get something done. We could definitely make some moves here and win some championships, right? So that could be a possibility. Also, by then, you'd have more chemistry. You'd have more just idea and just identity of your team. You'd have the more foundation, where right now, we've only played 5 games. We're still trying to figure it out. We're still trying to develop chemistry, things like that. But still, it'll give us a nice little glimpse of what does this team look like post LeBron. Is this a team that can beat the better teams? Also, one thing that's worth noting, 2-3 years from now, the NBA probably looks completely different. So that's something else as well. But in general, it just gives us a good inclination of like, okay, like this team can compete with the best even without LeBron. So, and guys by then will be coming into their own. They'll be, D'Lo, does he take that next step? Does Jared Vanderbilt develop a shot and become the best two-way player in the league? He's still only 23 years old. So it's not like he's anywhere close to a finished product yet. He still has 4, 5, 6 years before he even enters his prime. So again, a lot of variables, but I really do like the makeup of this team. I really wish D'Lo was playing tonight. At least at the time of recording this video, he is still currently doubtful, which for precautionary reasons, I imagine he doesn't play. We do have a back-to-back. We do play Memphis today, and then we do play the Thunder tomorrow, which if we have to win one of these 2 games, it is that Thunder game. That Thunder game is much, much more important than this Grizzlies game. Obviously, you want to win both of these games because we're trying to climb the standings. And right now, we are only half a game out of a play-in spot. So especially if the Thunder lose and we can beat the Thunder, then that allows us to jump. We have a couple teams that we need to keep an eye on today, like the Timberwolves. They play the Clippers. We need the Clippers to go and beat them. And all of a sudden, if we can beat Memphis and we can beat the Thunder in these next 2 games, we could actually be, by the end of those 2 games, we might actually be in the 9th seed, which would just be absolutely incredible, right? If we can do that, that is huge, huge for us. Right now, we are sitting in 12th. But again, like I said, we are 1 game out of the Timberwolves, and we are half a game at a 10th for the Pelicans and the Blazers. So we're right there, right? The Jazz, it'd be nice if the Spurs could find a way to beat the Jazz, but they're on a 16-game losing streak. They're doing the best that they can and trying to tank. So that's going to be a little tough. That's going to be a little rough, but you never know. There's always that chance any given night. But regardless, Lakers need to focus on the game ahead. Good news is, for Lakers, is that, SGA, he's likely going to miss tomorrow's game because he entered health and safety protocol. And so that's a game that I think makes a lot more winnable. Yes, we don't have LeBron, but now they don't have their go-to scorer, their best player. So that kind of washes out, and I think that becomes a winnable game. But regardless, like I said, at the end of the day, we got to focus on the games at hand. We have more than enough talent, more than enough depth. I would really wish D'Lo was playing, but hey, it happens. Next man up mentality. Let's get this done, right? Lonnie Walker should get more minutes. We need to see big games out of him, show what he's still capable of doing. Rui Hachimura, we need him to step up. Beasley's got to start knocking down his shot. Jared Vanderbilt, I'm not really worried about him. He's going to do Jared Vanderbilt things, right? But regardless, if he can, provide some scoring punch. LeBron, the best case scenario is we end up getting in the 7th or 8th seed, or best case scenario would technically be a playoff seed. But I think it's going to be a little tough to get into the playoffs without LeBron. I don't think it's impossible with our schedule, but it's going to be tough, right? So realistically, in my opinion, I think if we can squeeze into that 7th or 8th seed and LeBron is healthy and LeBron can come back and we get into that playoff spot, whether it's the 7th or the 8th seed, I don't care, but we have a healthy LeBron. Let's go. I think that this could be a good thing. I've seen a lot of people saying this might be a blessing in disguise. I don't know if I'd go that extreme and say it's a blessing in disguise. I do understand their point. I do understand their sentiment. I definitely think it is something that could help, right? It'll allow the team to kind of build more confidence, build more chemistry together. LeBron, he's plug and play. He doesn't need to worry about it. He always makes it work. He'll be fine, right? So I'm not really worried about him if everyone's figured it out and got the chemistry going, how do you fit in LeBron? That's the least of my concerns. So I do think that this is really good for the team, and it allows LeBron to just rest his body, rest his mind, rest his foot, rest his ankle. He's had a lot of really nagging injuries pretty much all season long. And so for him to be able to just get some rest, some much needed rest, that would be really nice. If he does end up missing, say, 2 or 3 weeks, again, not ideal, but let's say he misses 3 weeks, that would bring him back likely around the Suns game on March 22nd. So if we can get him back for that Suns game, maybe we could go and beat the Suns. During the stretch leading and after that Suns game, we played the Magic. So we play the Mavericks on the 17th. So let's say from the 17th on, we would play the Mavericks, the Magic, which both of those games I really think we can win. I really do, because both of those games are at home. So I think we could beat the Mavericks. I think we could beat the Magic at home without LeBron. Then we play the Suns game at home. I think that would be a great game for LeBron to come back. But if not, then he needs to come back for that March 24th game against the Thunder, because we'd play the Thunder again. That is much more of a must-win game than the Suns game is. So if he comes back for that, great. But if he needs more time, I think it's going to come down to how do we weather the storm without, right? We played the Grizzlies. Can we beat the Grizzlies tonight? That would be huge. Beat the Thunder, that would be huge, because we have a lot of teams ahead of us that we need to beat, right? So we have the Thunder, the Wolves, and the Warriors are our next 3 games after the Grizzlies. We need to win all 3 of those games more than anybody else, right? Those are the 3 games, because then after that we play the Grizzlies twice, play the Raptors and the Knicks, right? Though it'd be nice if we could beat all, keep winning, go on an 8-game win streak. But realistically, we probably drop at least one of these Grizzly games. The Raptors have been playing really good basketball right now, so they might be tough. But if we can beat the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the Warriors, that'd be huge, because that would give us games up on all those teams, help with tiebreakers, stuff like that. And then after that Knicks game, we got the Pelicans and the Rockets. I think we can beat both of those teams without LeBron. And then that's where we get into that March 17th, where we play the Mavericks, the Magic, and then the Suns. So my guess is he comes back around, if it is 2 to 3 weeks, he comes back somewhere around the Suns or Thunder game. Best case scenario, he comes somewhere around that Pelicans to Mavericks games, either the Pelicans, Rockets, or Mavericks game. That would probably be best case scenario. I think hopefully worst case scenario, he's at around the Suns game, which we could really use him for. But again, I still have confidence in this team. I still believe that we have enough depth, enough talent. This is why we went and got this roster. It's why we went and got all these guys, all this talent. Let's do this, right? Put your head down, get the win, believe that this team can win, get some confidence. If we could beat the Grizzlies tonight, I think that would bode extremely well for our confidence. I think this team would just be off to the races. I think we'd be riding with momentum, right? But we already won a game in Golden State, who Golden State is still the best home team in the league, right? And we beat them without LeBron James. So I expect us to go in and at least be competitive, right? That's all I want. Just be competitive. Don't get ran out the gym, nothing like that. Go in. If you lose, keep it tight, keep it close, and just have a good, hard-fought game. That's all we could really ask for. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think they have a chance? Do you think that they win tonight? Do you think they lose? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love you.